hello to the room.
On his last leg to the bottom left of the map here on Daybreak, we have the Terran player for the Prime team. It is
ByuN Prime.
If you look up at the top right where his life is, it has X0. He has nothing left. This is the only one. That's his life right there in the booth.
And talking about his performance against Protoss and that he has to perform better against Zerg, that's easier said than done given his abysmal record against Zerg in Heart of the Swarm so far. But let's talk about that in a second. His opponent in this game is starting to the top right, of course. It's the Startail Zerg player, 1-on-1 in the group.
Startail Curious.
Korea is a strong opponent for ByuN to face here, and our Terran player, who is in potentially his last game that actually matters to him, he had only 3 opponents in Heart of the Swarm offline. He faced live, lost against him, no shame in that, lost also against JKS in the GSTL and suffered and won. The only game that he won was against Symbol. So not too much to go on, but he really has to perform like in tip-top shape now if he wants to save his chances to advance today. And he knows that. He knows that everything is on the line here. And as mentioned, Curious is a tough opponent to face. He has just won a 4-0 against 4GG at the Numeric Cable Millennium House Cup that was just happening last weekend. I was in Europe, in France, of course, where Curious was attending. And earlier that here in Codes, Curious won his only Zerg versus Terran against Marine King with a 2-0, a teammate of ByuN, of course.
Oh, he's going to get the SCV.
I cannot believe that really happened.
I'm struggling to believe it too, because the thing is, he's already lost mine time with having 3 SCVs building the command center, which is what you need, and now the drone's going to get in the main.
Well, like, please explain to me why that happened. There were like 3 SCVs down there. He could have pulled that SCV at any time, could have repaired it or whatever.
We talked about this already, how losing gets into ByuN's head, gets into his mind, and you know, this could be part of the reason why he lost that SCV.
I think that's exactly what happened.
You know, something to note is Curious could have gone double hatch before pool with scouting this, but he decides to go into the pool itself. No gas just yet, but you know, he wants to play safe here. He sees also ByuN's gas, don't forget that either. He gets all the information and the drone just walks away.
Drone walks away. Killer here, taking down that SCV. I still can't wrap my head around that he let that happen with the additional SCVs already at the bottom. He could have pulled that away anytime he wanted. Now we have the 6 Zerglings coming up, trying to just move in and do maybe a little bit of damage to those units on the low ground, and that could work.
Yep, that's like that drone is Curious himself. He's going to go back and make an Ultralisk Cavern with it later, maybe even an Infestation Pit. And the first few Lings are on the way. Of course, ByuN will have his bunker up plenty in time. But Curious is trying to get some more information here.
Well, it's actually... Yeah, he's going to have the bunker up. Has to put the Marine in there, though.
Yeah.
Sounds silly, but at this point, I'm actually a little worried for him.
6 Lings, he could actually run by, too.
Yeah.
And
he could also get in main base.
I think he's going to try to run by.
So there's the second depot. No. Just having a quick look, but not doing anything more than that.
Doesn't work on the rocks either, or take the watchtower, just going to walk back. Double gas here at the natural.
Well, the double gas now being taken, as you just said. We have the double queen nearly completed. Overlord in the main base spotting everything, but is also going to be taken out by that Marine.
Yep. And the Ling's actually trying to take this opportunity to come up here. Doesn't actually do it. He moved it for a second.
Keep in mind, one of the things that we don't see is a 3rd base so far. So Curious has a lot of gas here with the double extractors on the low ground, and we've seen so many Zerg players using very different timings of Roach and Baneling aggression in this game. We've seen that on 3 bases, on 2 bases, with 1-1 upgrades, without them. And where ByuN is trying to go into Hellbats apparently, it's still a bit of a mystery what exactly Curious is planning to do here. So far he hasn't revealed a lot, just going into speed before he starts with his hatch.
And Curious didn't see
the 3rd.
Yep, there it is. He didn't see the armory at all, so he has no idea about that. As you can see, Curious continues to spread his creep out now, 4 tumors at a time. And these Hellions, of course, are not going to have transformation servos, so the Hellions he already has on the map are not going to be the ones that get put into the meta. It's going to be the next few that come out.
Getting a couple of hits off here, the Queen so far doing a really good job. Speed is going to be important, but he also needs a Roach Warren. It's very cost inefficient to work against Hellbats without the speed. The armory has still not been spotted.
Yeah, he doesn't know. And that's not necessarily too big of a problem for Curious as long as he plays safely here.
The block at the front with the double evolution chamber is going to help him. Banelingness at least going down, but still skipping on the Roach Warren.
Yeah, skipping the Roach Warren makes it much harder to defend Hellbats. And even Roaches aren't even that good against them, but you have a few Roaches out, definitely makes your life easier. It's all about the Queens and whether they target correctly. Yeah,
just a few additional Zerglings here for the safety, and now that speed is kicking in, he can try to chase down those Hellions. He expects them to be at the Watchtower, so that will be the first position where he's trying to surround them. And so far for ByuN, we have the Hellbats in the game. Medivac is just now coming out, he's getting more of them. The drop will really determine the fate of ByuN here in this game. It's going to set the pace and will determine if Curious is being the one who has to react, or if he's the one that will act on his own and be able to push ByuN back.
Right. Curious makes a blind spore. In fact, 2 blind spores. So that's really important because even though he doesn't know drops are coming, he's just saying, it's possible. And, you know, it's one of those things you don't know is what your opponent's doing. You know, oftentimes there are things that you don't know, or the unknown unknowns. Those are the worst. But in this case, he knows that he doesn't know, so he's going to make the spores just in case.
Late lair tick here for him this game, but here are the Queens just waiting for the Medivac to move in. And that drop is immediately deflected, so Curious knows exactly what's up. Okay, you're gonna try to drop me. I'm gonna be ready for this, don't you worry. He's getting even additional Spore Crawlers now, and has a few Banelings to set up so that he can defend his mineral lines.
Curious just playing phenomenally safely here, and even as the Overlord just chilling here, and ByuN's just looking at the Overlord and he's got to bang his fist on the table or something. He's got to be so frustrated with how his opening has gone here. He's got nothing done.
Especially the Medivac pilot has to be very frustrated. Instead of dropping to the main base, the only thing that he or she can do now is watching the Overlord's ass. Not really the best view that you have on a map like Daybreak. There's no waterfall or anything, but I would rather watch the stars instead of like the Overlord's backend.
The asteroids and stuff.
Here we go though.
Great target there. You always want to target the Medivac with your Queens and have their units on the ground kill the Hellbats.
Banelings are running in and taking it down, just making sure that the next hit doesn't go straight into the drones. So didn't lose too many Harvesters here. In total so far we have 4 Harvesters killed by ByuN.
Not worth it.
Yeah, not really.
It equalizes the cost of the Hellbats without the drop and not the tech commitment to the armory.
Up yours, that's what the Viking says here. Chasing those rockets in.
And now the Medivac goes down only to realize it's spotted by another Overlord.
Overlord's like, ooh, okay, I better die right now. I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah. Well,
that drop was.
He's trying to bait the Lings into it, I suppose. Does not work.
Oh, no Zergling is in his right mind is trying to engage Hellbat Wolf.
No, definitely not.
That's not gonna happen. You have to find some crazy Zerglings for that to go on.
For a moment there, I thought the SCVs were running away because they thought there were Banelings in that Overlord, but it's just transferred to the 3rd.
And Curious is really just going for Lingbuna Baneling here. I mean, +2/+2 now on the production tab. He has his macro hedge on the way. We have him with the Spire attack. Creep spread is decent. His Overlords, of course, not all in position anymore since the Viking is trying to chase them down. But he always reacts just so super fast against his opponent's movement. The Medivac just barely escaping. He cannot possibly think that the Medivac will be able to evacuate those two.
I mean, no way. Lings here not going to trade efficiently at all, but he gets him out. And in fact, actually, that was better than I thought it would be.
That wasn't too bad. I mean, they were already damaged, and they didn't really get the shots off that they wanted to. So, Curious is playing a really good game so far, but ByuN has a massive supply lead here.
Yeah.
We still have a bit of a bank for Curious that he can use.
I think he's just going to make mutas. That's why he has, that's part of the reason why he's lacking. They're the 10 that he starts.
Yeah.
But he's lost a lot of mining time, and ByuN's had this 3rd base for a really long time already, so he does take this supply. This is what ByuN is known for. His macro is so impeccably good.
Oh yeah, he's a crazy macro player. But now those Lings are moving in, and ByuN is forced back with his main army. The Zerglings on hold position now attacking the SCVs, taking down a lot of them, and suddenly the surface area is there to take down the bunker, but it's just a little bit too late. ByuN is already back with the rest of his army. But the workers killed much better for Curious now.
Just imagine, Curious killed more drones there than ByuN's Hellbats, or more SVs than ByuN's Hellbats ever hoped to do, just with a little run-by with the Zerglings. He still, though, is facing ByuN, who has just a great, impeccable macro here. He's almost doubling Curious's army supply, so he has some aggressive windows to use here.
The Widow Mines all the way at the front, and the Muralists are moving in. They're catching that drop. Oh, he's speeding away. All the Lings are running in. This job is not going to achieve anything at all. The medivac gone, the Marines being taken apart by the Lings one by one. The second drop now in the main base, trying to come in from a good angle, but the Lings are just ready.
Yep. ByuN's harassment has done him nothing this game. He needs to swing the hammer, and he's going to swing it right now. He knows he has the better army. Look at that scan. Beautiful creep clear there. It's almost like a vacuum clear. Somebody called the maid.
But the idea here was to attack in the middle of the map while dropping at the third and the main base, and that is not going to happen anymore. He's trying to speed boost in with another set of units down at the fourth, but this just doesn't look... This doesn't look good. This is not going to work. There is cooldown on the medivac, no way to escape. The only army that ByuN has is in the middle of the map on creep.
I think he expected the fourth base to be here, but it's not. It's to the south. He can't actually make this work. He splits his Marines perfectly, though.
Yeah, really good splits, and the Banelings are taking a few shots by those Widow Mines, but still, most of the supply that ByuN had here is now away with those units fast. Leaving them in the middle is not a good option.
ByuN fought away from his Widow Mines. That was part of the problem in that fight. He had so many Widow Mines set up to help him, but he didn't fall back to them. He split away from the mines.
He tried to bait him in a little bit. It really comes down now to how well Curious uses those Banelings. A lot of Zerg players are trying to get the Banelings close to the Widow Mines so that the Widow Mines will be gone and then you can move in with the rest of your army. But that has to happen here. 3-3 has been started now.
Widow Mine shots here could have been even better than they were. They were decent still, and he's damaged this army quite heavily.
The 4 bases are still alive. The drop in the main base becoming an issue here. The Mutalisk alone cannot fight this.
Yeah, he even has Widow Mines to support, but he has some Banelings there.
He doesn't see the Banelings, and now also the Widow Mines are being gone. He also loses the medivacs, doesn't even save those. ByuN is falling behind. Exactly. He's still at 160 supply. But the game is working for Curious. It's just developing in Curious' favor.
ByuN no longer has the supply. He no longer has the army advantage. He also... He just played a little bit carelessly there with his army in the middle of the map. He lost way too many Marines.
He's going to have the upgrades. That's the advantage that he will still maintain. 3-3 is a long time away for Curious. He needs to get the infestation bit first, then the hype tech, then the upgrades. So that's one of the advantages that ByuN really has. But the 4th base that he's building right now, will Curious really allow it? At the bottom right, the Spine Crawlers and Spores doing a really good job against the Marines that have been dropped. In the middle of the map, the Terran players trying to set up another Widow Mine trap, and here we go, moving in!
The Widow Mine's done here, burrowed, but so many of them already dead. The Overseers just cleaned him up, and ByuN, he just can get nothing done in this game. No matter what he does, Curious stops him at every turn.
He's losing too many Widow Mines and also medivacs. Losing the Marines is not this big of an issue if you have the income and the production that you can just rally them out. But the problem for him really being that all those gas-intensive units are being eliminated over and over again.
As well is gone. Honestly, ByuN has just run into a brick wall, and that brick wall's name is Curious. He's splat all over it, and Curious, he's about to be facing 3-3 Marines, but not a whole lot of them.
He got himself not only a bloody nose, he got... everything doesn't work for him. He didn't have a single drop that really did damage, not one.
Yeah, ByuN's having just a flop today. I mean, it's really not even about ByuN's poor control, it's just about Curious always having... He was always prepared.
Yeah, those drops just didn't do anything at all for ByuN, and he tried to line them up with his aggression in the middle of the map, but it did not work. And now it's time for Curious to actually turn things around to be aggressive on his own.
Yeah, going to the main base now, there are set of turrets there. You can just ignore them. Always the double turrets. When the Mutalisk count gets this high, it doesn't matter anymore. He's going to target down the command center.
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
He basically one-shots a turret right now. And the Marines have to move back. He's moving in again. The Mutalisk count is crazy. He's even going for the armor upgrade now, which also indicates that he wants to fight. He's just moving over the mineral lines, taking down SCVs where he can, even taking down refineries to limit the income of his opponent in gas.
Oh my god,
what was that? He was not paying attention at all. He was defending at the 3rd base against the Mutalisks, but that killed his entire army in the middle of the map.
Now his 3rd base cannot be defended because he lost his entire army. He's going to lose this command center, and he's not paying attention again. No splits here.
is
Saves
able
the
to save
command
it,
center.
but look at the bank alone. 1,700 minerals, the gas to back it up, 2 going into 3-3 now. Yes, ByuN has an upgrade advantage at this point, but how long is that really going to last?
I just would love to see a camera shot of ByuN right now. He's got to be clenching his fists on those equipments.
Those Banelings, Wolf. Uh-oh. Burrowed right at the ramp. And he's scanning. Oh my god. That was the money scan.
That was the most important scan of his life. And he may still die. And maybe the last scan he ever gets to drop here. As again, the Mutalisks fly in. That's not even a flock. That's an entire colony of Mutalisks. And they're going to not only have the support of the Zerglings, but also here come the Banelings!
He doesn't even need them. And the counter-aggression here has already been thwarted by Lings and Banelings. He has to run away. It's a 50 supply lead at this point for Curious, with the economy to just rally out units across the map. 50 Zerglings are being built, and now the Mutalisks are moving into the natural. There's just not enough. A few... actually... No, not good enough.
Split against the Widowmines is good. Takes the medevacs out here. This base is forfeit as well.
Bye-bye, ByuN. We have the Terran player for Team Prime in Code A next season.
The only Terran for his team to fail.
Yeah, bouncing back from this situation is not gonna happen.
Not even Keen's Pogo Stick can allow him to bounce back into this.
Yeah.
He trades well against these Lings and gets the hatchery, but he just doesn't have anything left.
What Curious is doing is sacrificing that base and just using his reinforcements to deal with this. He's taking down all the medevacs that there are. He's killing his opponent's units once they leave the barracks. And ByuN is trying. I mean, he's fighting it, but this is over.
It's over. He's just having to come to terms with it right now in the booth that he's the only Terran to fail.
GG.
Even struggles to type it in. Fails the first time.
Curious with a 2-1 in the group. ByuN is 0-3. He is going to be in Code A next season.
Look at him.
Yeah, this is not a good day. Not for him.
That's one of the worst plays I've ever seen from ByuN, if I speak totally frankly. Well, the defense of Curious was rock solid though in that game. I mean, he literally didn't get anything done ever at all, not even a little bit with his drops. Just nothing was done. The run-bys in the middle were okay, but...
The Hellbat drops.
The Hellbat drops were just shut down.
Did nothing. Like, how many did he kill? How many harvesters?
Like
3, 4?
I think, in total.
And, I mean, if you think about it, the drone earlier on did a more cost-efficient harass than ByuN did with his units later on with a Hellbat drops.
And he shouldn't have even lost that SCV in the beginning.
Maybe send out an SCV next time to kill a drone. I don't know. That was like the worst joke ever, but yeah. I mean, you get the idea. This just was completely shut down. He didn't do anything with them, and he lost the Hellbats. He lost both medevacs, didn't do anything at all, and Curious just didn't give him a chance.
No chance at all.
We're having another 5-minute break, guys, and then we are going into the next set of matches here, the GSL up and downs. Keep in mind that ByuN is already out of the group, but we still don't know who's going to advance to Code S or to the OSL next season, to the WCS Premier League Korea. So far, each and every one of the 4 remaining players could pull through. We're going to see very soon who's it going to be in just about 5 minutes after the break.